talk to me. Hi guys, good morning. Welcome to the channel. This is Dan. This is my channel, Engelgeist. Thank you for tuning in. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are coming back and have been watching me, thank you so much for your support and welcome back. This is, and for those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very, very much. You guys know that. I think you guys know that. But if you're interested in supporting me over on Patreon, you can go to patreon.com and get a subscription. You can get the daily forecast a day early. Just go to patreon.com under Engelgeist, and you will see my page there. There's special readings that are available there. They're only available there. So this is the daily forecast for Wednesday the 13th. So this is the beginning of the midweek energy for sure. This is also a timeless message, so it's available to you. Whenever it becomes available to you, it may actually still have meaning for you. It doesn't have to be viewed on Wednesday the 13th. But for those of you that regularly watch, this would be kind of something to think about, focus on, explore, look towards, that kind of a thing, and have it to help use it as guidance. I'm like tripping over myself this morning. So, what else was I going to say? Other ways you can support the channel: like, share, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at Engelgeist333. And book a private reading through my business page on Facebook. If you have any questions, you can direct them there. You can DM me too at Instagram, but I'm not as hip as the young kids with Instagram, seriously. But people have DM'd me there about readings, so that's always available. So let's see what's going on. We've had some kind of trippy cards. The Wheel of Fortune has shown up twice this week already. Plus we have that Magician card. So we're going to see what happens today. It feels like the cards are trying to speak to us. It feels like this could be a very impactful week. So keeping that in mind, bearing that in mind, let's see what we've got going on. Oh, beautiful. It's the Two of Cups. So I love this card because this card always makes me think of love. You know, it's one of those, twos always make me think of couplings, right? Or coming together, but cups even more so, obviously, because it's couplings, right? And couples. To me, when I look at this card, I've never seen this card in this deck. It's lovely. I'll just show you the information here. To me, I love how there are the picture. I've never seen the information. I'm a little off today. I might need more coffee. I'm filming this a little early. So this Two of Cups, to me, I love the imagery of it because it's this couple riding off you would appear into what is the sunset, but it looks like they're riding off into the waves, right? They're riding off into sort of the unknown together, the ocean of their emotions together. What I love about this is they're sort of mounted on this horse and feeling. Horses are always a symbol of power, right? And so, to me, and they're grace too. I feel like they're very graceful creatures. They're grounded creatures. They're beautiful, strong, powerful. You know, horses can be not docile, but I sort of see horses as having this sort of like quiet strength, this grace, this power, right? Sorry, I'm having a sip of coffee. So, to me, when I'm looking at this, I feel like this is that sort of bonded love that comes from the Two of Cups, but it's sort of empowered via this horse, and it's willing to push forward. It's willing to ride forward into the unknown, into that of this sort of unknown, emotional unknown of the ocean, right? And face the challenges that may present themselves in some of our relationships, right? So if some of you guys on this Wednesday are dealing with relationship stuff, you're looking at your relationships, you're looking at where you feel like you're fed versus not fed in relationships, this card to me would be that energy, right? This would be about, okay, where do I feel empowered in my relationships and how do I harness those? How do I feed those? How do I empower those to experience more of that intuitively. Again, we have the moon here, and I know this is the mystical dream tarot, so there's a lot of moons through all the cards, which I sort of like that, but I feel like following the light of our intuition, or maybe our deeper, more intuitive side, which would be represented through the moon, it will guide us, especially when you think about the moon, how it reflects off of water at night. It almost lights the water up, right? And I love that these two are sort of riding off in this this sort of sense of bravery. I have to say, with these cards, there's been a lot of like, I don't want to say darkness, but this unknown with these cards, right? Like that woman in the cave from last week with the crystals, or yesterday's Master of Secrets, which was the magician. I sort of felt like he was coming out of a cave also. I feel like these two are riding off into this sort of emotional depths of this ocean, which can be tumultuous. We see this wave here, but it's not stopping them. They're not fearful. So there is this sort of unknown. Maybe that's the unconscious or subconscious factor to these cards that I feel like, where it's like there's an exploratory aspect to these cards that I think we might all be experiencing at some level here in the month of May, because we're kind of dealing with situations we've never dealt with before. I do want to speak to this guy in the background. If you don't see him back here, there's a third party in the background. I feel like this has dual meanings. For some of you, this might mean that you're actually separating from some people in the process of this Two of Cups energy, where you're looking at your relationships and you're trying to figure out which relationships feed you versus which ones starve you. And some of us are being starved. That's sort of what I feel like this person on this horse is back here. Like they're unwilling to go to the depths with the rider that's here, right? So we need to find the person that's willing to sort of reach those depths with us, or brave enough to at least challenge those depths, want to explore those, and doesn't judge us for those emotional depths that we might experience or the tumultuousness that we might go through. Does that make sense? And so we may have to leave, where's my beautiful pointer? We may have to leave somebody in behind, or some relationships behind. And they may have been relationships, because it's interesting to me, we have a horse here and a horse here. They may have been relationships that felt in sync in the past, very in sync, because both of them are on horses to me. So to me, it's like these are dear, I feel like these are people that are dear to us or close to us, that we love probably, or we have loved in the past, and that it just sort of feels like the relationship isn't necessarily in sync anymore. And now this could be romantic, this could be familial, this could be friendships, guys, but it sort of feels to me like these are people that are still dear to us. It doesn't feel like it's the easiest thing to maybe let them go, but I feel like it's time. I feel like they're not going where you're going, is the feeling that I'm getting when I'm looking at this card. They're unwilling to break the wave. They're unwilling to go into the depths. They're unwilling to meet you emotionally. They're unwilling to sort of, and you've been through, I'm going to say this too, most of you, whoever this person is for you, whichever position they fulfill, whether it's friend, lover, or family member, you've been through a lot with this person, is my feeling. There was a lot of good and bad times with this person. And so to me, it feels like it's time to move on. It's time to intuitively listen to our more intuitive guidance of the moon, and let the moon guide us through this challenge. There's others that will ride with us forward and embrace us and support us, like this woman is behind here, support us in our power to move forward when we need to. Maybe some of us don't feel like those people are with us right now. We need to seek them out. They're around us. Let me just see if there's anything else I need to say out of this card. This could also, for some of you, be just a deepening of your relationship to yourself. I always see twos as that sort of idea too, emotionally. But I actually feel like for a lot of you, this is about the departure of one relationship and maybe the beginning of new. Some of you, the new relationship may not be there just yet. Part of the reason why I say that is because she's sitting behind him. She's there, like they're coming in, they're ready to come in, but we just don't know that yet. We're too busy maybe looking at the wave of emotion that might be going around us due to having to depart from this relationship, or making those decisions to finalize that departure. And for some of you, you may know and have that support and be aware and grateful for that support of that woman that's riding behind us. They're heading into depths unknown. And hopefully you are too. I mean, that's like that Ouroboros card that we're seeing. That's that that energy of uh, upper world, you know, sort of coming in and challenging us or guiding us. That's sort of this moon energy, this upper world energy, right? This our intuitive higher self that is part of that upper world, allowing that to sort of guide us into these emotional depths that will, you know, whether we feel powerful or not, it's going to require us to access this horse or this power within us to navigate this stuff. It's like I feel like I'm compelled to say we have to work for more, and then we have to be willing to sort of go out and get it. To truly feel that with like a directional like purpose of we really want this, we're ready for this emotionally, we're ready to face the challenges that are required. The interesting thing to me too is yesterday's card was flow. And that flow of that water looks like it might be bouncing back at us, but we have to be brave in the face of it. That wave that's coming out this horse. Yesterday's card was friends too, which, you know, not only makes me think of spirit friends, but our other relationships, you know, that are around us. And that doesn't necessarily just keep our focus on friendships. It could be family members or romantic relationships, right? So, you know, finding those relationships, seeking out the ones that fill us up or excite us, offer us opportunities for happiness, growth, that sort of thing. That's what this feels like to me. And going after it no matter what. Let's see what the mystical shaman, the rattle. The rattle is back. Now, if I remember correctly, this is, I think that they said that this was about shaking the rattle. What was the definition on this card? It was, when I see this rattle, to me, this is about clearing my space. When I see this rattle, this is like sort of the sound equivalent of sage. It's got this sort of light around it if you look here. And to me, the rattle is about like sort of shaking it around your aura to almost cleanse your aura or free your aura of any sort of heaviness, lower vibrational energies, anything to sort of, also this rattle to me is feeling like sound in the sense of like going out into these emotional depths, right? Into this, you know, deepening of relationships or whatever. The rattle like sort of helps us to sort of hear our way through, if that makes any sense. That's the picture that I'm getting right now. It's like the rattle almost, like how, you know how a bat uses sonar to navigate caves or areas that it doesn't understand? To me, this rattle is sort of like a drum roll or a reminder of our own bravery, of our own power as we move forward and deepen this relationship. As we make the commitment to sort of walk away from the things that aren't working. No matter how well they worked in the past, we have to acknowledge that they're no longer maybe in alignment with us, in vibration with us, or it's time to bring in something new. And I feel like this rattle also calls that in. It's sort of like the sound equivalent of that call, right? Like shaking this rattle brings in like the upper world. It's like an acknowledgement, or like almost as if it's giving permission to the upper world to come in and to do their work and to let us know that we're not alone, to maybe present as this support of this woman, right? If this woman doesn't necessarily have to be in a physical body, she could represent the support of the upper world coming in and helping us to deepen our connection to self and to understand our own strength, our own power, our own bravery. And that rattle helps us to sort of acknowledge that at the sound level. It's similar to like a chant or like an om. When you're in meditation and you om out, it's like that sort of the vibrational power that can come from the throat chakra. But this rattle obviously doesn't necessarily represent the throat chakra. It's just, to me, it represents that idea of almost like declaring to the universe around you, I am here, this is what I want, I'm going after it without any sort of fear, right? And sometimes to me, this rattle feels like we shake it out of fear, right? To sort of ward things off or clear our space, clear our presence, clear our mind. Let me look up rattle. I'm going to read it again to you guys because I just want to. The essence. The rattle is the spirit caller. Okay, so this is the upper world. It's time for us to call in the upper world that we saw on Sunday, guys. And we're getting ready to go on this journey, this Two of Cups. This horse is ready to go. We're ready to ride off into the sunset and try something new. The rattle is the spirit caller, carrying the shaman's prayer to the four directions. The body of the rattle is like the earth spinning on its axis. With the aid of the rattle, the medicine woman instills a desired destiny in her future, closing with the prayer, Great Spirit, may your will be done. The rattle guides us to pray for all the earth, not just for our personal needs. When we offer our prayers for the highest good of all, everything we need is provided for us. The invitation. The rattle comes to invite you to work with the tools of spirit, but be careful. They are very sharp and can hurt you and others if they are not used mindfully. Set your old tools aside and take up the drawing instruments of spirit. You are consciously stepping into partnership with the divine. This is the time for courageous deeds, which we see happening here in this Two of Cups. Do not let your hesitation get in the way of your expression. So that's sort of that idea of where I feel like this fear that might be in our space, this fear of the unknown, this fear of challenging ourselves or pushing ourselves forward. We need to acknowledge that we're stronger and powerful or able to deal with this or take this on. But this rattle, also the sound of the rattle empowers us. It's the thing that sort of shakes out those lower vibrational energies, self-doubt, worry, anxiety, that sort of thing. That's also this rattle, or the sort of the symbology of this rattle. The medicine. You want to catch God on the whisper, not on the shout. What you are trying to craft to your own desires and expectations is already there, standing before you. Do not spin the world to your own benefit. You are being offered the Creator's tools, which must be put to use to serve a divine purpose. So I think that there's some decisions that need to be made. I think that there's decisions that need to be made throughout this entire week, but these decisions that I feel like we're making are pivotal into sort of how we see ourselves in our world, where we fit in our world, what we focus on our world, and what we're going to ultimately receive back in maybe the week. Listen to those cats. It's like running of the bulls in Madrid. And what we are going to receive in the sort of weeks and months to come. That's sort of my feeling, guys. I feel like this week feels like a setup week in the sense that we're setting up our intentions, and what we're focusing on is setting up our experience to come. So keeping that in mind, I would shake your rattle, bring in spirit, be ever so grateful for their arrival, be ever so thankful and cautious with how you utilize the information you get, and then act accordingly with sort of reverence and respect. And things will be fine. Let's see what the grounding stone is. Okay. The grounding stone, this is one of the smallest ones in the bag. This is carnelian. And this is give. And what I like about this, as far as with this rattle, is where they were talking about praying for not only ourselves, but for the greater good of everyone. And it also makes me think of this Two of Cups is like, what do we have to give to our relationships? What are our relationships giving back to us? Where can we be of more service to those around us? And where are those that are around us are no longer being of service to us? And that's not a bad thing. It's just sort of like, it's time to sort of like let them go, or give them the space or the honor of who they were in your life, and sort of be free of them. That's this person back here on the shore. It's like, it doesn't, just because sort of you're willing for change or to move forward doesn't mean that they're less than or whatever. This give to them is sort of like giving them the freedom, giving them the honor, acknowledging them and grounding in that, right? And then giving back to yourself the idea and the understanding that you can have more, you can deserve more, you can achieve more. There's opportunities here for you if you let them in. All right, that is your forecast for the day. I hope that you guys understand where this is going. If you have any questions, you can forward them on to my Facebook business page. Please leave a comment or a share, like or subscribe. I greatly appreciate all of that stuff. I will look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow to see where this kind of goes. Alright, I hope this all makes sense. I'm trying to, what was it was that Seven of Swords, it was that spinning energy. I'm trying to think of Sunday's midweek card, that Seven of Swords energy, and it reminds me of this wave that's coming at us too. Alright, you guys, have a good day. I will talk to you later. And thank you for tuning in. Love you. Bye.